Imagine waking up every morning, looking in the mirror and hearing a voice that tells you, you are not good enough. You are not strong enough. You are not capable of achieving your dreams. Now, what if I told you that voice is yours? Every day we speak to ourselves more than we speak to anyone else. But the real question is, what are we saying? Are we building ourselves up? Or are we tearing ourselves down? Most of us don't realize it, but the words we say in our minds shape our reality. They define our confidence, our success, and even our happiness. Today, I want to share something simple yet life-changing. 5 powerful lines you should say to yourself every day. These lines are not just words, they are fuel for your mind, armor for your soul, and a roadmap for your journey. If you truly listen, believe, and repeat them daily, they have the power to transform your life. So stay with me, because by the end of this speech, you will walk away with something that can change the way you think, act, and live forever. Words have power. Not just the words we say to others, but more importantly, the words we say to ourselves. Think about it. Every single day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, there's a conversation happening inside your mind. A voice that never stops talking. A voice that can either lift you up or tear you down. Now, let's be honest, what does that voice say most of the time? If you're like most people, it's filled with doubt, criticism, and fear. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I'll probably fail. Maybe it's not always loud, but it's there, whispering in the background, shaping the way you think, the way you feel, and ultimately the way you live. Here's the truth. The way you talk to yourself matters more than anything else, because whatever you tell yourself repeatedly, you start to believe. And whatever you believe, you act on. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not capable, you'll hesitate. If you tell yourself that you don't deserve success, you won't chase after it. If you tell yourself that you're not enough, you'll never step into your true potential. But here's the good news. Just as negative words create doubt and fear, positive words create strength and confidence. You have the power to change that voice inside your head. You have the power to take control of your thoughts, to reprogram your mind, and to feed yourself words that empower you instead of words that limit you. And it starts with 5 simple lines. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. It can't be that easy. Just saying a few positive words to myself won't change my life. But let me ask you this. If negative words have been holding you back for years, why wouldn't positive words have the power to push you forward? Think about it. How many times have you talked yourself out of an opportunity? How many times have you let fear win because of the story you told yourself? The way you speak to yourself creates your reality. I've seen it happen time and time again. People who once felt stuck, who thought they weren't good enough, who believed they were destined for mediocrity until they changed their words, until they started speaking to themselves with power, with conviction, with certainty. Because when you tell yourself something enough times, your mind starts to accept it as truth. And once you believe it, your actions follow. Imagine waking up every morning, and instead of saying, I'm tired, you say, I am ready. Instead of saying, I'm not sure I can do this, you say, I've got this. Instead of saying, what if I fail, you say, what if I succeed? It seems simple, right? But the impact is massive. It's not just about saying the words, it's about feeling them, owning them, believing them. If you look in the mirror and say, I am strong, but deep down you don't believe it, nothing will change. But if you say it with certainty, with energy, with emotion, everything shifts. Your posture changes. Your energy changes. The way you carry yourself changes. Because your mind starts to register that this is who you are. And once you lock into that identity, you start making decisions that align with it. That's the secret. You don't just repeat these lines like a robot. You don't just say them out of habit. You breathe life into them. You connect with them. You let them become part of you. And then something incredible happens. You start to see the proof. You start noticing that you handle challenges differently. You walk into rooms with more confidence. You take action without overthinking. And the best part, other people start to notice too. They see the shift in you. They feel your energy, and suddenly the world starts responding to you in a different way. This isn't magic, it's psychology. It's how the mind works. The words you choose every day are programming your brain, training it to either empower you or limit you. And you get to decide which one it's going to be. So if you've been feeding yourself doubt, if you've been telling yourself stories that keep you small, it's time to change the script. It's time to take control of the conversation happening in your mind, because your life will never go beyond the words you speak to yourself. Change your words and you change your life. And it starts right now, every single day, from the moment you wake up. You have a choice about what kind of energy you're going to bring into your day, a choice about how you're going to see yourself, how you're going to handle challenges, and what kind of mindset you're going to operate from. And that choice starts with the words you speak to yourself. Because here's the truth. Your mind is always listening. Always. It's picking up on every little thing you say, whether you realize it or not. And whatever you tell yourself most often, that becomes your reality. If you wake up and immediately start thinking, I don't feel like getting up, I'm tired, today's going to be hard, guess what? Your brain says, okay, I guess today is going to be hard. And that's exactly how you experience the day. But if you wake up and say, I am ready, I am strong, I am in control of my life, your brain responds to that too. It starts searching for proof that those words are true. And that's where everything changes. You don't need to say 100 different things every day. You don't need to memorize a script. You just need 5 simple lines. 5 lines that rewire your thinking, that remind you who you are, that push you forward when life tries to hold you back. 5 lines that become your foundation no matter what's happening around you. The first one, I am strong and capable because you are. But life will try to convince you otherwise. People will tell you that you can't. Circumstances will make you doubt yourself, and fear will creep in. But when you remind yourself every single day that you are strong and capable, you train your mind to see possibilities instead of obstacles. You teach yourself to rise instead of retreat. Because strength isn't just about muscle, it's about resilience. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, you have the power to keep moving forward. The second, I will achieve my goals. Not I hope, not maybe someday, I will. Say it with certainty, with belief, with absolute conviction. Because if you don't believe in your own success, who will? Most people go through life with this hesitation, this doubt, this what if I fail mindset. And that hesitation is what keeps them stuck. But when you declare every single day that you will achieve your goals, you give yourself permission to take action. You shift from wishing to doing. You start finding ways to make it happen instead of excuses for why it won't. The third, I am worthy of love and happiness. And listen to me, this is a big one. Because a lot of people deep down don't believe this. Maybe they've been hurt. Maybe they've been told they're not enough. Maybe they've spent so much time putting others first that they forgot about themselves. But if you don't believe you're worthy of happiness, you will never allow yourself to fully experience it. If you don't believe you deserve love, you will sabotage the love that comes your way. So you remind yourself every day that you are worthy. Not because of what you achieve, not because of what you do for others, just because you exist. Because you are enough exactly as you are. The fourth, I choose to stay positive and grateful. And listen, I get it. Life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. There are challenges, there are setbacks, there are days that feel heavy. But in every single moment, you have a choice. A choice to focus on what's wrong, or a choice to focus on what's right. A choice to complain, or a choice to be grateful. And gratitude isn't just about saying thank you. It's about shifting your entire perspective. It's about looking at your life and seeing the good even when things aren't perfect. Because the more you focus on what you have, the more you realize how much you've already won. I believe in myself and my journey. Because no one else can walk this path for you. No one else can do the work. No one else can make the decisions that shape your future. It's on you. And if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't trust the process, if you don't remind yourself every single day that your path is unfolding exactly as it should, you'll start doubting everything. You'll hesitate. You lose momentum. But when you believe, When you truly believe, you keep pushing forward no matter what. You trust that even the challenges are leading you somewhere. You know that every step, even the tough ones, are part of something bigger. 5 lines. 5 simple sentences, but if you say them every day, if you say them with belief, with energy, with absolute certainty, you will feel a shift. Not in a week, not in a month, immediately. Because the moment you take control of the words you speak to yourself, you take control of your entire life. And once you do that, nothing can stop you. Repetition is the mother of all skill. What you do once in a while doesn't shape your life. What you do consistently every single day is what defines you. And the same goes for the words you speak to yourself. It's not enough to say them once and expect instant results. It's not enough to whisper them when you're feeling motivated and then forget about them when life gets tough. The real power is in repetition. Think about it. How do people become great at anything? How does an athlete build muscle and endurance? How does a musician master their instrument? How does a speaker command a room with confidence? Practice. Repetition. Over and over and over again until it becomes second nature. The same rule applies to your mind. If you want to change the way you think, if you want to rewire the beliefs that have been holding you back, you have to do it every day. Not once, not twice, but until it becomes part of you. Most people don't realize this, but your brain is like a sponge. It absorbs whatever you feed it the most. If you tell yourself every day that you're not enough, that you can't do it, that you're stuck, your brain believes you. It doesn't question it. It just accepts it as reality. But when you start feeding it powerful words, when you start saying, I am strong, I am capable, I am worthy, and you say it again and again and again, your brain starts to shift. It starts accepting that as reality instead. And once that belief locks in, everything else follows. Now, some people hear this and think, well, that sounds too simple. Just saying a few words isn't going to change my life. But let me ask you something. How did you develop the beliefs you have now? How did you come to believe the things you believe about yourself? Through repetition. Maybe it was something you heard growing up. Maybe it was something people told you over and over again. Maybe it was something you told yourself so many times that it became your truth. Whether positive or negative, the beliefs you hold today didn't just appear overnight. They were reinforced day after day until they became part of who you are. And if repetition built those beliefs, repetition can change them, but you have to be intentional. You have to be deliberate. You can't just say the words. You have to own them. You have to say them with conviction, with power, with so much certainty that your brain has no choice but to believe them, because when you do that, something incredible happens. You stop just saying the words and you start living them. You wake up and instead of dragging yourself through the day, you stand tall, you move with purpose. You walk into a room and instead of doubting yourself, you own your space. You take action without hesitation because your mind isn't filled with doubt, it's filled with certainty. And that certainty, that's what separates people who succeed from people who stay stuck. It's not luck, it's not talent, it's not some magic formula, it's belief. And belief is built through repetition. Now, here's where most people go wrong. They try it for a few days, maybe a week, and then they stop. They say, it's not working. But think about this. If you went to the gym for a week and didn't see abs, would you say, well, I guess this isn't for me, and quit? No! You keep going because you know that change takes time. You know that the real results come from showing up day after day, even when you don't see them right away. The same applies here. You don't stop because you don't feel different after a few days. You don't stop because your old beliefs try to creep back in. You keep going. You keep repeating these words to yourself until they become your automatic response, until you don't have to try to believe them anymore because they're just part of who you are. And let me tell you something. When that shift happens, everything in your life changes. The way you handle challenges changes. The way you pursue your goals changes. The way people see you changes. Because confidence, success, happiness, none of it is an accident. It's built. And it's built through the small things you do every single day. So you have a choice. You can keep letting your mind be filled with the same old doubts, the same old fears, the same old stories that have been holding you back, or you can take control. You can start feeding yourself the words that build you up instead of break you down. And you can do it every single day until those words aren't just something you say, they're something you become. Because once that happens, nothing will ever be the same again. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, but here's the problem. It doesn't always work in your favor. Left unchecked, it can become your biggest enemy. It can fill your head with doubts, fears, and worst-case scenarios before you even get out of bed in the morning. It can convince you that you're not good enough, that you don't have what it takes, that success is for other people, not for you. And the craziest part? Most of the time, you don't even realize it's happening. Negative thoughts don't always show up as loud voices screaming in your head. They sneak in quietly. They disguise themselves as self-doubt, hesitation, or being realistic. They show up when you hesitate before taking action, when you second-guess yourself, when you talk yourself out of something before you even try. And the worst part, the more you listen to them, the stronger they become. But here's the truth. Those thoughts are not facts. They are not reality. They are just patterns, habits that have been built over time, and just like any habit, they can be changed. But only if you take control. Only if you start recognizing them for what they are and consciously replacing them with something better. You see, your brain is like a garden. Whatever you plant, that's what grows. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, that's exactly what will take root. And if you don't actively remove those weeds, they will spread. But if you plant seeds of confidence, strength, and possibility, if you nurture them, water them, and protect them, then that's what grows instead. And it all starts with what you say to yourself every single day. Most people don't realize that they have a choice. They think their thoughts just happen to them. But you are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You are in control. You get to decide what you focus on. You get to decide what you reinforce. And if you want to overcome negative thinking, if you want to rewire your mind for success instead of doubt, you have to be intentional. You have to consciously speak the words that empower you instead of the ones that hold you back. Now, let's be real. It's not always easy. Negative thoughts are persistent. They don't just disappear because you decide you don't want them anymore. They fight for space in your mind. They try to pull you back into old patterns. But the more you practice replacing them, the weaker they become. The more you feed yourself empowering words, the more those words become your new reality. And the key is to do it before you need it. Most people wait until they're in a tough situation to try and change their thinking. They wait until they're overwhelmed, stressed, or facing a challenge, and then they wonder why it's so hard to be positive. But that's like waiting until you're drowning to learn how to swim. You have to build the habit before you need it. You have to train your mind every single day so that when the challenges come, and they will, you already have the strength to face them. Think about it. When an athlete trains, they don't wait until game day to start preparing. They train every day so that when the pressure is on, their body already knows what to do. When a musician practices, they don't wait until the concert to start rehearsing. They play those notes over and over again until they become second nature. And if you want to be mentally strong, if you want to have a mind that works for you instead of against you, you have to do the same thing. You have to replace negative thoughts with positive ones before they have a chance to take over. You have to speak words of confidence before the doubt shows up. You have to remind yourself of your strength before you're tested. Because when you do that consistently, you stop letting fear and negativity control you. You stop reacting to life and start creating it on your terms. Now, does that mean you'll never have a negative thought again? Of course not. Everyone has them. But the difference is, you won't let them define you. You won't let them hold you back. Because you'll know that just because a thought shows up, that doesn't mean you have to believe it. You'll recognize it, acknowledge it, and then replace it with something better. And when you do that over and over again, day after day, something incredible happens. Your mind starts to work for you instead of against you. You start seeing opportunities instead of obstacles. You start believing in yourself even when things get tough. You start taking action without hesitation. And that's when everything changes. Because the moment you stop letting negative thoughts control your life, you take your power back. And once you have that power, nothing can stop you. Every single day you are given a new opportunity, a fresh start, a blank slate. But here's what most people do. They drag yesterday into today. They carry their past failures, their old regrets, their disappointments like a heavy weight on their shoulders, and they wonder why they feel stuck. They wonder why life feels like it's not moving forward. But how can you step into your future if you're still living in your past? What happened yesterday is done. What happened last year is over. The mistakes, the failures, the things you wish you could have done differently, you can't go back and change them. But you can decide what happens next. You can decide that today is the day you let go of everything that's been holding you back. That today is the day you stop punishing yourself for what went wrong and start focusing on what's possible. Because the truth is, you're not the same person you were back then. You've grown, you've learned, you've gained wisdom from every experience, good or bad. And you have to stop looking at your past as a life sentence. It's not. It's a lesson. And the only way it has power over you is if you keep holding on to it. Now, I get it. Letting go isn't always easy. The mind loves to replay old stories. It loves to remind you of the times you failed, the times you got hurt, the times things didn't work out. But you have to ask yourself, why are you letting a past version of yourself dictate your future? Why are you allowing mistakes from years ago to decide what you do today? You are not that person anymore. The moment you realize that, you free yourself. Think about this. If you were driving a car and you kept looking in the rearview mirror the entire time, what would happen? You'd crash because you wouldn't be focused on where you're going. You'd be too busy looking at where you've been. And yet, that's exactly what so many people do in life. They stay so focused on their past mistakes, their past pain, their past struggles, that they never fully step into their future. But you can't change the past. What you can change is how you let it shape you. You have two choices. You can let your past define you, or you can let it fuel you. You can let it be the reason you hold back, or you can let it be the reason you push forward. The only difference is how you choose to see it. Because the most successful people in the world, they've failed more times than they can count. They've been knocked down, rejected, told they weren't good enough, but they didn't let it stop them. They didn't let their past dictate their future. They learned from it, they grew from it, and they used it as fuel to become stronger. And that's exactly what you need to do. Every mistake, every failure, every setback, it was preparing you for something greater. It was shaping you into the person you need to be to handle what's coming next. But if you keep living in regret, if you keep beating yourself up over things you can't change, you'll never see the opportunities that are right in front of you. Today is not yesterday. And just because something didn't work out before, that doesn't mean it won't work out now. Just because you struggled in the past, that doesn't mean you have to struggle forever. But the only way to step into the life you truly want is to release the one that's already gone. So the question is, what are you still holding on to? What old story have you been telling yourself? That you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, that because something went wrong before, it will go wrong again? It's time to let that go. It's time to rewrite the script. Because your past does not equal your future. The only thing that defines your future is what you do right now. You have the power to decide. You have the power to move forward. And the second you stop letting your past control you, the second you stop replaying old failures and start focusing on what's ahead, that's when everything changes. Because once you let go of what was, you make room for what can be. And what can be is limitless. The most important thing you need to realize is that your life is not a series of random events or circumstances that happen to you. Your life is a result of the choices you make. Every decision, every action, every word you speak whether consciously or subconsciously, is shaping your life, your future, and your destiny. The moment you understand this is the moment everything starts to shift. So many people live their lives as if they are victims of their circumstances. They blame everything from their upbringing to their environment to the people around them for why they haven't achieved what they want. But the truth is, no matter what's happened to you in the past, you are the creator of your own story. You have the power to take control of your life, starting with the decisions you make right now. Think about it. If you're not happy with where you are, the first question you need to ask yourself is this: what choices have I made to get here? Because the truth is, your current situation is a reflection of the decisions you've made up until this point. If you're unhappy with your health, your finances, your relationships, or your career, it's time to get real with yourself. What choices led you here? What habits did you form? What beliefs did you reinforce? But here's the powerful part. Just as you made choices that led you to where you are, you can make new choices that will take you somewhere else. You are never stuck. You may be in a tough spot right now, but it doesn't define your future. The decisions you make today can completely transform your tomorrow. Let me share something important. We often wait for the right moment. We wait until the conditions are perfect, until we have all the information, until everything falls into place. But here's the secret. There's no perfect moment. If you keep waiting for everything to align perfectly, you'll be waiting forever. The truth is, the perfect moment is right now. The perfect moment is when you decide to take action, no matter how messy, no matter how imperfect, no matter how uncertain things may seem. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. You don't need to wait until everything aligns perfectly. You just need to make the decision. The decision to show up for yourself. The decision to take the first step, even when you don't have all the answers. And that's where most people fall short. They wait for the motivation to come. They wait for the stars to align. They wait for a sign. But the truth is, motivation doesn't come first. Action does. The moment you decide to take that first step, motivation will follow. The moment you decide to take control of your life, things will start to move. And when you make that decision, you take the power back. You stop letting life happen to you, and you start making life happen for you. But here's the kicker. Every decision is a chance to create the life you want. Every decision you make, whether big or small, is leading you toward your future. And the best part is, you don't have to make perfect decisions. You just have to make decisions that move you forward. Every single day, you're creating your future with the choices you make. So what are you choosing today? If you're not happy with where you are, ask yourself, what choices am I making right now that are keeping me here? Are you choosing to stay stuck in the past? Are you choosing to let fear control you? Are you choosing to stay in your comfort zone because it's easier than stepping into the unknown? The good news is you don't have to stay there. You don't have to keep making the same decisions that are keeping you stuck. You can choose differently. You can decide right now that you are going to make a change. And I'm not talking about a small change. I'm talking about a radical decision. A decision that says, I am no longer going to live by the same rules that have kept me where I am. I am going to create a new reality for myself, starting with the decisions I make today. It doesn't matter how big or small the decision is. What matters is that you make it with certainty, with commitment, and with the belief that you are the one who controls your destiny. Your choices will lead you down one of two paths: the path of comfort or the path of growth. The path of comfort is easy. It's the path that says, stay where you are, stay safe, don't risk it. It's the path that keeps you stuck, keeps you repeating the same old patterns, and keeps you small. The path of growth, however, is uncomfortable. It challenges you. It pushes you to become more, to stretch, to take risks, to embrace uncertainty. But that path is the one that leads you to everything you've ever wanted. Because growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. Growth happens when you push yourself beyond what you thought was possible. So every day you are choosing your future. You are making decisions, and those decisions are either moving you closer to your dreams or further away from them. But you don't have to wait for permission. You don't need anyone else's approval. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to decide. And when you make that decision, that's when the magic happens. Because when you take control of your choices, you take control of your life.